Entitled mom thinks her kid is more important than the man in the trauma room. Background. This is a freestanding emergency room, so there is no hospital attached. With this, we only have 20 rooms, and on most days, it gets filled very quickly. We have a room, however, that is mostly empty called trauma room. But when someone is in there, it means something very serious has happened. Important later. Also, on this day, it's really busy, as in 40 patients seen before 10 AM busy. I'm a volunteer, so I mainly stick to the front desk as the nurses and doctors are running room to room. A woman, entitled mom, comes with her daughter, entitled child, but before they can sign in, poor dad comes running in yelling out how his son, in his mid-30s, is unresponsive and is having serious trouble breathing. This immediately sets docs and nurses on edge as they get the poor dad's son on a stretcher and wheel him immediately into the trauma room. The father was told to wait in the waiting room while they work on his son, and this guy is packing back and forth, sweating and murmuring prayers. Almost everyone in the waiting room is looking sympathetically at poor dad, but of course, entitled mom just looks annoyed. Entitled mom comes up the window and asks how long the wait is, and I tell her it's 20 minutes, but it may be a bit longer due to a recent patient, referencing poor dad's son, but for a reason I can't just tell her that. She glances at poor dad and rolls her eyes, but turns to sign in at the kiosk while texting on her phone. A few minutes later, I can see a teen sign in for abdominal pain. I call her up and she and entitled mom come up. Me. Are you? First name and last name. Entitled mom.
Yes, she is. When can we get our room?
Me. I need to ask a few more questions, and there is no guarantee you can get a room at this moment. Since it's busy and I only have one room open, I need to have a few more specifics on abdominal pain to see where on the necessity list she needs to go. I ask her, what's going on? Entitled child.
My mouth hurts.
Me, confused. Your mouth? Entitled mom and entitled child give me a "are you stupid" look. Me. But you signed in your daughter for abdominal pain. Entitled mom rolls her eyes and points to her mouth. Me. Abdominal pain relates to your tummy. Entitled child.
Does it matter? I need to be seen.
Me. Getting fed up. Look. Does your stomach hurt or does your mouth hurt? Entitled child.
It's my mouth, jeez.
Me. Okay, I need to change your file to mouth pain. Entitled mom looks like I just slapped her. Entitled mom.
No, we need to be seen now.
Me. Excuse me? Entitled mom.
My boyfriend told me abdominal pain is important to your hospital workers.
But your daughter doesn't have abdominal pain.
Well, that boy who was wheeled is probably faking. He doesn't deserve to be seen first.
Excuse me?
That guy is older. My daughter is still young. She needs to be seen first. He's lived his life.
At this moment, it's dead silent in the waiting room as everyone is staring at the entitled mom in horror. The father slowly turns around and looks at the entitled mom with tears in his eyes. I think the entitled mom must have felt everyone's eyes on her, because she turns around. The poor dad quietly says in tears, "My son has a wife and kids. Just because he's older doesn't mean he doesn't deserve the life he's been given." For a minute, entitled mom just looking around at everyone who is staring daggers at her. Then she grabbed her daughter and stormed out. Poor dad's son was stabilized a couple hours later and sent by ambulance to the main hospital, where the doctor said he was put into the intensive care unit. I don't know what happened to him after that, but I hope he's okay. I felt so bad for poor dad in the story, but some of the nurses talked to me and said that it's sadly not that uncommon. Entitled mom thinks that I'm using a stolen credit card at Petco and goes insane when I talk back to her, and then demands that I hand over the card. This happened about 5 years ago when I was 15. It's necessary to know that this was before I had a phone or a credit card or a bank account or anything adult-like at all. I did, however, have my driver's permit, not a license, but close enough. At the time, my dog, Maggie, was dying of a liver cancer and was laid to rest several months after this event occurred. But in the meantime, a dog has still got to eat, right? Both of my parents were out of town and my brother was in school at his university, so I was well through roughly alone and responsible for the dog and the house. My mom had left me her credit card, trusting me not to be an idiot with it and instead only use it in dire situations. Scene. A few days into my solitude, I noticed that Maggie was running out of dog food, the dry kibble-like stuff. I called my mom and she said that I could take the extra car, an old beat-up Toyota from who knows when, to Petco to get some more, and of course to use her credit card. So I scratched Maggie on the head, told her to be good and headed to Petco. Upon arrival, I walked to the dog food aisle with no problems. It was then I saw the only amount of dog food they had, that was the same brand we always get, was the 40 pounds bag. I picked it up, hoisted it into my basket with an embarrassing amount of effort and went to checkout. I arrived in line just before the woman and her kid got there. The woman huffed something about being in rush, but I didn't think much of it. I only had one item. This woman, as I would soon discover, was to be our lovely entitled mom. Now those of you who have shopped for dog food know that sometimes it can be expensive, and this brand happened to be just that. When the cashier scanned it and requested I pay, I inserted the credit card. It beeped and then asked me to sign. The bag was just over the price where I wouldn't have had to sign for it. That's when I panicked. I had never used a credit card before. I know it's silly, but I wasn't sure if I was allowed to sign for it or not. I thought that might be illegal, and this is where the drama begins. Me. This is my mom's credit card. Am I allowed to sign for it? I asked the cashier. Cashier. I don't know, that's something you'll have to talk to the bank about. Me. Sorry, I've just never done this before. And this is when the entitled mom decides that it has become her business.
You know you probably shouldn't be shopping with a stolen credit card.
Me. It's my mom's, so it's alright.
Then your mother isn't being responsible. She should keep things like that away from kids. Does she even know that you're here?
Me. Yes.
My children would never steal my credit card. Neither would they lie to an adult.
She gestures to her kid who looks miserable, as if he knows what's about to happen. This is the point where I get confused. Lying? I was accused of lying? I wasn't even sure what she thought I was lying. Me. I'm not lying. She flips.
Don't talk back to me, you little brat. You talk back to me when you're shopping with a stolen credit card.
Oh yes, because the first thing I do with a stolen credit card is buy a 40-pound bag of dog food. She seems to be less confident in her claim now, but entitled moms never back down without a fight.
Did your parents not teach you any respect? Here you are yelling and screaming at me when all I've done is voice my opinion.
Voice your opinion? You're saying I stole a credit card. She was clearly not used to talking with teens who have a mind of their own.
You little crap, don't talk back to me. Give me that credit card so I can return it to its rightful owner.
No, I need to buy this dog food. Cashier finally steps in. Just sign for the bag, kid. Entitled mom now feeling teamed up on.
Don't let him buy that. It's a stolen card. He's a criminal.
I still find it funny that she didn't ever call the police, despite calling me a criminal. Makes me think that she was arguing only for the sake of not being wrong. I pay sign for the bag, get my receipt and head back to the car. The entitled mom is still blabbering on about theft and the law. She starts insulting me, calling me the typical entitled mom things. Brat, disrespectful crap, immature little boy. Then she starts insulting my parents, calling them swine, barbaric, irresponsible, not knowing how to raise a kid. Out of pure curiosity, I wait in my car to see what she does after checking out. She just walks to her car with her kid, sees me, raises both hands, and promptly flips me off. Yes, very mature indeed. Clearly she was embarrassed, but didn't want to admit being wrong. Entitled mom and her kid get mad at me for trying to get off the bus. Okay, so this happened about an hour ago. The shock of the situation has now worn off and I can't stop laughing. The interaction was very brief because I noped the hell out of there. My stop is coming up, so I press the button that lets the driver know that someone is getting off soon. I don't know how it's in other cities, but if this button isn't pressed and there aren't any people on the bus stop, the bus driver just keeps driving. When the button is pressed, a light bell noise goes off. Immediately after pressing the button, I heard the kid screech. I didn't care to look. I just thought the kid was mad at his mom. The bus was kinda empty, so everyone had a clear view of the other passengers, especially entitled mom and entitled kid. I was sitting at the front of the bus and they must have seen me press the button. Entitled mom.
You want to press the button?
Entitled kid.
Yeah!
Entitled mom starts talking to herself, but of course, loud enough so I can hear. She kept going on about teenagers being annoying and always ruining things for younger children. Given what had just happened and knowing that the other passengers were around their 30s, 40s, I knew she was talking about me. I glanced at them and I must have had a confused look on my face because Entitled Mom starts talking to me. Entitled Mom:
What? Do you have something to say?
Me: No.
My son wanted to press the button.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Yes, you did. He got up and everything.
I wasn't looking. By now the entitled kid is doing that thing that little kids do when they are about to go through a mental breakdown, flailing his legs and sliding out of his seat while making whining noises. I'm awkwardly looking around, waiting for the light to turn green so the driver can finally reach the bus stop. Entitled Mom turns towards the other passengers and starts talking about me. I'm still making this face. Sorry desktop users, I can't describe that face. No worries man, I got you with the image. Finally, I get off the bus and this dumb duo doesn't even get off, so the kid could have pressed the button for the upcoming stop. Video on the screen tells the story. Obese Karen charges at me after her kid stole my phone. 2 hearts, 1 wow, pumping the blood, we are the flood, we are the body, and seasons they will change, life will make you grow, dreams will make you cry, cry.